It's your boy D-COOP, co-host of Real Talk.
I'm your boy Greg, the go-to guy.
Okay, y'all, we decided to do a part two of what we had talked about. We talked about, on an episode, we talked about the burdens of a black man. So we came back and said, man, you know what? We need to do a part two on this.
Yeah, we did.
So we're going to do a part two on it. Greg, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we decided to do a part two, man. That show there was awesome, you know, and it was something that needed to be said. And we said that, hey, Greg, we need to do a part two on that.
Yeah.
So that's why we're back, man. We're back to do a part two, and I hope someone can resonate with from this and, you know, and learn something from it. So we're back to do a part two. And Greg, what's on your mind, man?
Hey, man, look, you know, I kind of looked at that last show we did, and, you know, of course, when you were talking about it, you said you wanted to do a part two.
Right.
So we back to do a part two of it. And on that one right there, I kind of laid back much as possible.
I did too.
My boy had something on his mind he wanted to kind of get off.
Yeah.
But he's in a situation where he just really can't just do it the way he wanted to.
Exactly.
But I'm going to tell you something. It was something itching inside of my spirit that really wanted to come out.
Yeah.
So in this part two, I'm going to let it all hang out
Let
today.
it hang out today.
Let it hang out today.
Let it hang out.
Right.
You know, I got some things that I have to think about before I just let mine just come out.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I get that. And
but
I get
in due time, when God says right, I'm coming out.
You
And
coming
the world
out.
gonna know.
Right.
The world gonna know.
Right, right.
So yeah, what's on your mind, Greg? Let's talk.
Well,
man.
I tell you what, man, you know, when you brought that topic up, it made me start thinking about a lot of the issues that I've had in the workplace throughout the years.
Yeah.
And what's that topic again?
Burdens of a black man.
Burdens of a black man. You know, it is an issue here in America.
Mm-hmm.
We hear about it all the time. We decide to come on film and talk about different issues and stuff. Our number one objective is wisdom, information, and knowledge, right?
That's right.
And the reason why we do this is because if we talk about it, we bring it to the forefront of our minds, it'll give us better ideas of how to navigate through things. It's not that we can solve the problem, but just knowing how to navigate through them and make it to where we can get on the other end of these things, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it inspired me to talk about some issues that I've had in the workplace, and I'm gonna, you know, y'all know I'm a storyteller, so I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna tell some of the stories and the experiences that I had in the refineries. I believe I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But today I'm gonna get a little bit more detail, and I'm gonna do a little name call today because I'm in a position.
You gonna drop some names today?
I'm gonna drop some names today.
All right. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, because I'm in a position now to where I'm not up under that stigma to where I have to worry about, you know, the consequences of me saying somebody's
I totally
name.
understand that. Totally understand.
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that.
Once I get there, I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah, I know you will.
So
right?
freedom is good.
Yeah, freedom
Speak,
is good.
brother.
Right.
Preach.
So I have several stories. I mean, this stories in my mind date all the way back from in my early teens because, you know, I'm a entrepreneurial guy, right? I've always have had my own business all my life, whether I work for somebody or not. I still have to have something on the side. Because I always believe if they pull the rug out from under me, I need something to do. Okay? Have that always worked out for me? Always? No, it have not. But in my mind, I had to have something to do, right? And I just didn't want to. Go ahead.
Not putting your eggs in all in one basket, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
I hate to interrupt you, but yeah, I want to.
No
a
doubt
lot of
about
us do that. We put all our eggs in one basket, and once that basket is full, you have nothing else going on.
Nothing else going on, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to go into some storytelling. And I remember this happened to me not very, very long ago and not so far either, right? In the refineries, I had climbed the ladder, you know, and I had became a crane operator, heavy equipment operator, journeyman. You know, and all these positions that I had the paperwork to back those positions up. Okay. And for other people, when they had those positions, you know, they could kind of be like more like a prima donna worker, right? And you know, they was only called out when their position was needed, right? But for some reason, for me, I always had to work extra hard. Like, let's use this for an example. Okay, let's use this for an example. I was a heavy equipment operator. So let's say, for instance, if I'm operating a backhoe and we using the bucket. Okay, and you put the bucket on the site, right? And you got the laborers, or like let's say if they're using a shovel and they filling the bucket up, right? And my position and my job was to go and dump the bucket, bring it back so we can clean up the area if that was our task for the day. Well, my superiors expected me, while the bucket was sitting there, to get off the equipment and help do the shovel work and run the equipment.
So let me ask you this. When someone else was operating that crane, did they expect the same thing from them? Someone of a different race. Let's put it out there.
No, they did not. I've seen it for years, and so I want to be very careful when I talk about this race thing, because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm comfortable with talking about it because I'm simply just gonna tell the truth, and I love everybody. Let's make that real clear.
And we're not pulling the race card at all. We're just dealing with things that happen, man. And this does exist. Racism does exist.
And I don't want to direct this to just one people, right? Every race can be a racist.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so I want to be a little bit specific on what I'm talking about, because I don't want to talk like I'm talking to one group of people and not another one, because we, as being black, we had to deal with it twice when it came in the refineries. We had to deal with it with the Caucasian in the refineries, especially in the beginning. All right, and then after the Hispanics came in and started taking position in a lot of areas, then we had to deal with it again.
Right.
So you know what? I got a special way that I want to convey what I'm saying, this message, what I'm saying, without offending anybody, because I got brothers and sisters that's Caucasian. I got brothers and sisters that's Hispanic, as well as I have brothers and sisters that are black. It doesn't matter to me. I'm God's child, and He taught me to love everybody. Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna get that same type of love back.
And you won't.
Right?
You won't.
But it's normal for, let's use an analogy of birds. When you see a flock of birds flying, for the most part, you're gonna see, that same species of birds flying together. Okay. Then when let's say if they go to a tree and they want to rest as they migrating somewhere or whatever, you're gonna see all those type of birds in that tree. You're not gonna see another type.
Bird, right.
And that's we can call that as nature. It's normal. Right. So I get it, but we as human beings, it just doesn't work like that. Okay. So those birds are going to want to take care of who and what look like them. It's nature. But come on, we need to look at this in another way, because why shouldn't another group of birds be able to do what they need to do for themselves?
In one tree too.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So when we're looking at the human, and I'm trying to convey this in a way to where when my brothers and sisters see this, they won't get offended, but they'll only just take away from this what I'm trying to, what I'm trying to get out, what I'm trying to get them to understand. In this case right here, if you don't allow another species to run with you, that species could go hungry. If the majority is this species, and that's where the worms are, that's where the nourishment is, that's where the water is, and they migrated so much in this area, and they don't allow another species to come in and get nourishment. In other words, being able to work with them, to be able to take care of their homes, to be able to feed their children, to be able to pay their bills. Okay, you get what I'm saying? But I'm just using the analogy of birds.
Well, I think, Greg, that some people that get this high authority in the workplace, they can't handle it. They just can't handle it. And some people just can't handle it. They shouldn't be in that position, because they may think as a racist, You know, so should a person that think as a racist be in a position like that where they can make choices or decisions when it comes to another race?
Right.
You know, and we don't know who those people are.
Right.
You know, it can go all the way up to the top. We don't know.
You don't know.
You
right.
know? So we have to get ourselves prepared for the what if.
Right.
What if?
Right.
You know, and it's crazy that we have to live that way.
Yeah.
But we do.
But it's reality.
It's reality.
No doubt about that.
Man.
Yeah.
You know, getting up every morning, going to work, and you said, "Well, today is my day."
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
how should you? Why should you have to live like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's today my day. I'm just getting up, going to work, taking care of my family, man.
Right.
You know, but I've always got to say, it's today my day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really devastating.
Yeah. And it's not because you could, whether or not you can do the job. And I'm gonna kind of go back to my story. You know, when I said that I had the paperwork to back up my craft. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you have the paperwork to back up your craft, it should give you a certain level of respect.
Right.
And so what I'm saying here is in the refineries, by me dealing with these different ethnicities, that didn't matter, because if one of their relatives, or whether or not one of their friends or family or whatever needed a job, my job was compromised. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter what paperwork they had.
It didn't matter if you could do the job or not.
It didn't matter. Yeah. It didn't matter.
Right.
They didn't care. They was going to put them in there because this is somebody that they love.
But those are called gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers? Yeah. However you want to see it, but I just want to put it out there and grab a hold of whatever you need to grab off of it. But I've seen this with my own eyes.
I have to.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell this story. I've really been holding it back for a while.
Before you tell that story, can I say something?
Go ahead, man.
Now you know what? I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people may not agree with it, but when you say other ethnicities, you know, I'm gonna say us for this. You know, we're black, so I'm gonna say black people. We don't stick together like we should.
We don't.
We don't stick together like we should. I'm dealing with a relative now that, you know, my sister, she's black, of course, and she's dealing with some things in her workforce.
Right.
From another black woman.
Yeah.
From another black woman.
Yeah.
And it seems to me those black women should be sticking together more so than anyone.
Yeah.
Than any other race.
Yeah.
You know, but she's dealing with some things with another black woman.
Yeah.
That may jeopardize her job.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so to me, man, it's just, I don't know, man, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
this world is crazy.
And you know, this conversation to go on and on and on and on and on and on, and it won't stop. But we can't stop having the conversation, because if we stop, it's like we're not doing nothing about it.
And you're
right?
part of the problem.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to talk about it, and hopefully we can touch somebody's heart to make them look at things differently. Just like I'm talking about my experience in the refineries and in the workforce, to where if some of my counterparts that's other ethnicities can look at this and say, well, you know what, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I can't block this species of birds from landing on this tree and eating with us because they don't look like us, because we all look the same in God's eyes. So when you have somebody that make moves according to somebody, whether or not somebody the same species they are, then it really explains who they belong to. You understand? Yeah. So I'm going hard with this today. Right? And so I'm gonna tell this story, and I'm gonna call a name. At this particular time, I was working for a company. I won't say the company name, but my supervisor was named, my superintendent name was Fernando. I won't say his last name, right? And you know, it was so weird to me. One day, I walked into the office, and take note now, I'm a crane operator. Yeah. I'm a backhoe operator. I'm a dozer operator. I operate all heavy equipment, right, and have paperwork, the cards in my pocket, right, which supposed to have me on a certain level, right? And so I walked in the door in the office one day, And it just so happened he had a hammer under his desk. And he called me to his office. I said, "Yeah, what's going on, Doc?" He said, "Hey man, it got some nails sticking up on the patio, because there's a wood deck patio, and those nails could be a tripping habit, man. Do you think you can go out there and pull those nails?" Now, that really was disrespect, to be honest with you, and it's a card that be played on people of color all the time, because we supposed to be ignorant. We supposed to be, we the ones that can get mad fast and react and respond to certain things. And I've seen it be used against black men, right? But see, God raised me, right? And he taught me the devices of the enemy. And so I took that wisdom right there and I applied it to this moment, right? So he expected me to respond to that another way.
Negative.
He expected me to respond to that a certain way, but since I knew the tactics of the enemy, he can't win with me like that.
So how did you respond to it?
I said, "Okay, man, no problem. Let me put my bag down." I got the hammer and I went out there and I took care of the problem. Because right then I could have let pride took over.
I'm not here to take no nails out.
Right.
Who you think I am?
Right.
You could have said
Yeah. And that's what was expected.
That's what was expected. But let me ask you this, Greg. When you humble yourself like that, and you'll do something that you know you shouldn't do, you humbled yourself and you said, "Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Let me put my bag down."
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You had to humble yourself when you had to get that hammer and take those nails out that your supervisor or your manager,
superintendent,
asked you to do. So let me ask you, how did that make you feel as a man when you humbled yourself and you did that, and what he asked you to do?
Great question, man.
Yeah.
Because there's a spiritual side and there's a world side.
Right.
So if you would ask me how it made me feel from the worldly side, it didn't. Oh man, you get me?
Yeah.
But from the spiritual side, I felt so much power, right? Because the power that God put in you in the realm of the spirit goes well beyond than all could see. You understand? Now, in his mind, he figured,
I got him.
But in my mind, you can't touch me.
Yeah.
That won't touch me. That what you trying to do today will not stop food from getting on the table at my family's house. And we lose so much in that area as black men because we react before we think things out. But see, when you're a spiritual person, this thing has already been thought out because God has already taught you that in the wisdom part of your spirit. You see what I'm saying? Because, sometimes we react. And have you ever been there?
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. You react to something and then later on you deal with the consequences and you think of 100 different ways that you could have done that.
Yeah, you could have dealt with the situation. Yeah, I've been there a lot.
Yes.
Been there a lot.
Yes.
But my thing is, Greg, is that when I come home, I'm going to have to look at my wife.
Right.
I'm going to have to look at my grandkids.
Right.
And I understand why you did it and how you did it and all that. But my thing is that I'm going to be a man when I leave the house and I'm going to be a man when I return to the house.
Right.
Your situation, you have been a man.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Some people might say you would have been a man, you would have been a punk.
No doubt about it. That would be that world side.
Exactly.
But see, where there's a spirit, there's wisdom.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
And I choose to walk in wisdom.
Yeah. And well, some people get the term being a man. They take it to their head. Oh, I'm a man.
Yeah.
That's not being a man.
Yeah.
A man is not being able to beat everybody up.
Yeah.
A man is not being able to control everyone, manipulate anyone. That's not being a man.
Well,
a man is a man that can make decisions in a split second that's for the betterment of his family.
Right.
And what God sent him to do. That's being a man. So I congratulate you.
Amen. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So that's one story of many.
Yeah.
That I had to deal with in that arena. It's just one. I can think of so many others, man.
How long were you with this company, Greg?
Man, I was in the refineries. I'm gonna say probably about a good 15 years.
So when you left, I'm pretty sure it was your decision to leave.
Kinda. I just got tired, man.
Yeah. So was it a burden off your shoulders, man, when you left there and said, "Hey, I'm not under that anymore. I'm not under that oppression anymore."
No doubt about it. No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt.
That oppression, man, I tell you, it'll destroy you.
No doubt.
It'll destroy you. And I think that's why black men in general react the way they do in a violent way. Because of
They tired, man. Tired.
We are tired of being treated that way.
Yeah,
man.
they tired.
So I can't look at another man and say, "Man, I don't understand why he act like that."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't understand why he did that.
Yeah.
You don't know what he been through.
Yeah.
You don't walk in his shoes. You haven't walked in his shoes.
Yeah.
How can you judge another man? You never walked in his shoes before.
In his shoes, man.
You know? I don't know why a man went and murdered 16 people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right.
No, yeah, definitely ain't right.
Not right to do.
Right.
But on the other hand, you don't know what he's been through.
But look,
they set him off to doing some stuff like that.
Yeah. But okay, so I know when we started this channel, I have some notes in my office that I wrote down, and I never erased them. They wrote on there with chalk, and I won't erase it, right? Because I always wanted to talk about topics, and we all can talk about different topics, but some kind of way we got to come up with solutions.
Yeah,
right.
We do.
And a lot of people don't want to put the sacrifice down to make a different day for them. You know, earlier you said in the show number one, you said that they were afraid, something like that. You said that they were there was something you said in there in part one. You know, and I said, well, I don't know if it's being lazy.
Well, they're used to the norm. Society has been used to the norm.
Yeah.
When we talked about, you know, people going and buy these expensive eggs that's $10.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like zombies going in the store because they say, "Hey, come get these $10 eggs." They're just used to the norm because society has made you so mechanical that you're used to the norm.
Yeah.
You have to get outside the norm, man. You have to get outside. Like you said, go buy you a couple of chickens or something.
Yeah.
You know?
It made me think about the verse of the day that I read, and I don't have my phone on me, so I can't go back to it. But it basically talked about having the courage and not being afraid, right?
Yeah.
And having the courage to do something different is so important, you know, and not just going with the status quo. Okay, so we just talked about some of the effects on black men in America, but let's talk now a little bit about how we can change the narrative a little bit. Okay. Let's talk about solutions.
Okay.
But here's the thing: you cannot change things if you're afraid and don't have the courage for change.
And one person can't change it.
You see what I'm saying? So no, one person can't change, but one headship of a household can change the effects in that household, which can start there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Somewhere.
Start somewhere. Yeah. And at least in your, your household. Right. You see what I'm saying?
So how do we go about making change?
What do we do? Well, first of all, you got to look at, you know, and I have to say, man, my sister woke my eyes up on this, and, you know, I was talking about some of the things that I was implementing into our lives, and I was trying to be an example for certain things. People that know my personal life, you know, they'll know that I have to be a property owner. You know, I'm the type, I got to work, I'm gonna work backwards with my home so I can have it paid for. I don't like mortgage. I don't like having car notes and things like that. I don't have to have the newest car, but I got to have a paid for car. Right. I don't have to have the biggest house, but I have to have a paid for house. See? Yeah. And see, most people don't sacrifice what they need to sacrifice to have that, and which if you work it from the backside, you can really surpass the one that's working it from the front side. Because, you know, the one that's working it from the front side don't have vision, he's going to go along with the status quo of what they set for you and they're gonna go grab that 30-year mortgage.
And all that money.
I just have to throw this in.
Yeah.
Right. And so to me, this is a solution. But then I remember I was talking to my sister about some of these things one time, and I was like, well, I just want people to see, and she said, well, Greg, success for you is not necessarily success for the other man. So this is how I take that, okay, well, I mean, I believe it's wise, but everybody's not on the same level. They're not going to see it that way.
Right.
And so I did have to come back and think, well, you know what, she's right. Because, this person might want to dedicate themselves to red bottom shoes. This is they stylish, and this is what they want to enslave themselves for. They want to just make sure that they stylish all the time and they look a certain way.
Right.
That might be success for them.
Right.
But for anybody that want to have a different type of freedom success, listen to what I got to say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you work this thing in a way from the beginning, and even if you are in a place in your life to where you can't do that at the time, then at least teach it to your babies.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
We want to go grab the biggest house. We want to go grab the finest car. We want to go enslave ourselves to all these things. But and then let me show you what a slavery come in at is because you got to go to that job and you got to obey, because if you get fired from that job, then you lose all those things.
All those worldly things.
Worldly things. So to keep those things up, you got to be enslaved to them. Yeah. Right? But if
you got to dance to their music.
You got to dance to their music. Yeah. So if you say, and I'm going to just throw this in there, right? So if you say, well, you know what? I ain't with that. I'm going to go buy me a piece of property. But now when you buy this piece of property, it's not going to have the fine driveways. You might, excuse me, you might can't wear red bottom shoes because you might get them dirty. Yeah. If you buy a piece of property.
Yeah. But your mind is free.
Your mind is free.
You're not under that entrapment. You're not under that oppression.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can walk away when you want to walk away. You had enough.
You had enough. And nothing get taken away that way.
Yeah.
You understand? You see the freedom in that.
The freedom.
You see what I'm saying? The freedom in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peace of mind is more important to me than anything now.
And let me explain what I mean when I say work it from the backside, right? Because as you work it from the backside, and okay, let me do this. Let's say I'm gonna go through this. You buy a piece of property. Most ain't gonna want to do it. We got ditches. I don't see sidewalks, and all this was enslaved to that, right? You got to see things a certain way. You got to see a certain way. You got to pay.
Look at the bag before they look at the good.
Yeah. When you see things a certain way, you got to pay a certain way. All right. So you go back and you get this raw piece of property, and you start. Well, I can't afford to build a big house, but I'm gonna build a small apartment on there. And if you have a creative mind. And God put vision in his people, right? See, this is where I want to go. This is not where I'm at today, right? So you buy this piece of property and you build a small a two-room apartment on there. I'm not living in no two-room apartment. No, I'd rather go there and be a 30-year slave than to live in a two-room apartment and pay $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month. Instead of saying, well, we can just put this here, baby, honey, and we live there, free from being a slave. Right. So instead of handing out, for instance, $1,800 a month, we bring that 18 and put it back in. Yeah. See, 18 times 12, you can end up being around $22,000, $23,000 a year. Right. So you take that $20-something thousand, 4 years, you got $100,000. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So instead of you taking that to pay for the comforts of the slave master, you put it back into your property, and guess what? In about 5 years, you can wear the red bottom shoes on cement.
You can buy as many as you want.
As many as you want.
As many as you want. But you know what you meant?
As many as you want.
When you said that God put vision in people, and I'm going to take you back to something that I heard that was biblical. When Moses was when God was speaking to Moses, and Moses didn't know what to do. So God called up to Moses, and Moses said, "What? Here I am."
Okay.
He didn't say, "This is what I want to be, God." He said, "Lord, here I am."
Right.
So that tells me that he was talking to Moses, and Moses saying, "Here I am, work on me, give me my vision."
Right. Right.
So a lot of people have to wait for that vision.
Right.
You know, and God will call on you. Just say, "Here I am.
Right.
Give me that vision.
Right.
What do you want me to do?"
Right. His will.
His will. His will.
Wow, you said something right
Moses
there.
said, "Here I am.
Yeah.
I'm not who you want me to be at this time,
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah.
but here I am."
Right. Right.
Here
right.
I am.
Right. Right.
Man, that's powerful word.
It's powerful.
Man.
But see, so many people are distracted, man, because they so caught up in this thing.
Yeah.
Got to look a certain way.
Right.
Brainwashed.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If you're a materialistic person, you really don't look good. But because to wise people, you look like a fool.
Yeah. And most rich people don't have all that.
They don't do that. Wise people don't. Anytime you see somebody that put all this stuff in the forefront of them to identify, for them to be identified with,
and they worship it.
they weak people, man.
Red bottom shoes. What is that? What are red bottom? Is that paint at the
Yeah, it's that paint at the bottom, man.
Red
You know, we done
paint.
talked about that
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
That's just we using, but the red bottom shoes can come in many different forms. You know, crazy fool. You know, it come in many different forms, man. You know, I guess what we really trying to say here is just don't be a slave to stuff, man.
Yeah.
Don't be a slave to stuff. And I believe that
and you have a free mind, man.
Yeah.
You can walk away from that oppression.
Right.
You know? And it's so, man, I tell you, man, walking away from something that you just tired of, and you don't have to kill yourself going to that place and say, "Man, I gotta do this, I gotta do that."
Why you gotta do it? Why would somebody have to do it?
Well, you have to do it because you done got all these worldly things, and you have to keep it going.
Yeah.
So if you don't keep it going,
so what that mean?
What the Jones is gonna say? They lost everything they got.
Yeah,
so you're worried about what somebody else did.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're enslaved to those
things. You're enslaved to that mentality, man. I tell you, man. Walking away, man, it's such freedom.
It's a show we did, man, months ago, and I was talking about the people that I know that worship idols. Mm-hmm. And when they left here, they didn't get to take any of those things with them. It's so foolish for people to just enslave themselves for things. I went through a rough spell in my life. We'll talk about this some other time. And we have talked about it before. And I was laying on my back and, you know, I had to wait till I, was healed or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that I had God, man.
Yeah.
Because stuff wouldn't have been able to bring me mentally through these things that I had to go through. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, this right here
God made you stronger.
Yeah, so for this right here, somebody's listening to us. I know the topic. Say that topic again.
Burdens of a black man.
Burdens of a black man.
Burdens of a black man. Yes,
so watch this, y'all. I asked that question because I didn't want that title to leave this message at all. But some of the burdens you put on yourself.
What burdens are you under?
Yeah.
Think about it, man. If you release yourself from those burdens, just release yourself from those burdens, how would you feel?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you just release yourself from those burdens?
Yeah.
I bet you feel better.
Yeah.
I
bet look, a whole big old weight be lifted off.
Be lifted off of you, man. You don't have to have those burdens. Put yourself in a situation where you don't have to say yes sir. Put yourself in a situation where you don't have to dance when you don't hear music. Mm-hmm. And I'm like this. I'm not dancing unless I hear music. Mm-hmm. If I hear music and I want to dance, I'm gonna dance. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm not dancing to anybody that's not playing any music for me. I refuse to do it, and I'm not gonna do it. So just ask yourself, what burdens do I have? But are you done?
I'm done, man. I got a whole bunch of stories to tell. I know we can't do it all in one time.
Yeah, we'll come back again and do it again. Yeah. We're gonna shut down right now, man. And love, peace, and happiness. This is your boy D-COOP from Real Talk, and
it's your boy Greg, your go-to guy. I really appreciate y'all coming in and checking us out.
Yeah.
And peace.
Love, peace, and happiness.
From these haters 'cause they mad at us. Young Slim King bottle dropping platinum plus. We catching hell from these haters 'cause they mad at us. Young Slim King bottle dropping platinum plus. We catching hell. from these haters cause they mad at us. Young Slim King, bottle dropping platinum plus. We catching hell from these haters cause they mad at us. Young Slim King, bottle dropping platinum plus. Like big face hunters, ain't all we trust. I just don't understand why they mad